This is the Australian stock market closing report for Tuesday, the 17th of May 2016. With the US dollar testing an area of resistance and slightly softer, and commodities rallying overnight, resulted in significant moves within the Australian commodity-related sectors and stocks. However, the strength from the commodity-related sectors was unable to be correlated to the benchmark ASX 200 due to a mixed financial sector creating a drag on the index. The ASX 200 closed 37 points higher, or 0.7% to 5,395. The daily trading range was 37 points, with the high of the session at 5,395 and the low of the session at 5,358. The benchmark's market breadth was significantly positive, with 128 stocks advancing versus 58 stocks declining and 14 stocks unchanged. The energy sector was the strongest of the session, closing 3.1% higher, with Santos leading the pack, closing up 6.3%, Origin Energy up 3.9%, and Worley Parsons higher by 3.1%. The metals and mining sector was also dominant, closing 2.63% higher. The top three components, BlueScope Steel, Fortescue Metals, and Independence Group, all populating the top 5 positions in the 5 best performers list. BHP Billiton closed up 65 cents or 3.5% to $19.21. Rio Tinto closed up 66 cents or 1.5% to $45.87. The consumer staples sector was significantly stronger than the overall benchmark index, closing positive 1.16%. Metcash was up 3.35%, Treasury Wine Estates was higher by 3%, and Australian agriculture was higher by 2.7%. The financial sector was mixed, marginally edging out gains of 0.1%. The ANZ Bank was up 20 cents or 0.8% to $24.51. The Commonwealth Bank was higher by 70 cents or 0.9% to $78.70. National Australia Bank went ex-dividend and was lower by 0.89% or 3.1% to $28.13. And Westpac was higher by 16 or 0.5% to $30.20. In economic news, the ANZ Roy Morgan Consumer Confidence Index rose 1.1% last week. The Australian head of economics, Felicity Emmett, said the result was a drawn-out reaction to the previous week's RBA interest rate cut. Data indicated that the respondents' views about the economic conditions next year surged 6.1%, and their views about the economy in the next 5 years jumped 3.3%. The sub-index surveying respondents whether now is a good time to buy a major household item slipped 0.7%. The Reserve Bank of Australia released its minutes today regarding the May 3 interest rate cut. The minutes indicated that reducing the cash rate to an all-time low was not a clear-cut decision for the board, and that the 0.2% fall in consumer prices in the March quarter had caught the Reserve Bank by surprise. The minutes did not provide an indication of the Reserve Bank's bias towards a further rate cut, which immediately saw the Australian dollar strengthen. However, economists are suggesting that further rate cuts could not be ruled out given the central bank's lowered inflation forecasts. The Australian Bureau of Statistics said in a report released today that new motor vehicle sales fell 2.5% in April. However, in the past 4 months, total vehicle sales were higher by 2.4% for the current year. 97,604 new vehicles were sold in April, compared to 100,121 in March. The 5 most active stocks in today's session were Fortescue Metals, higher by 7.9%, Telstra Corporation up 1.2%, South32 lower by 0.6%, Medibank Private flat on the session, and Centre higher by 1.3%. The 5 best performers were BlueScope Steel up 9.3%, Fortescue Metals higher by 7.9%, Independence Group up 6.9%, Santos up 6.3%, and Saracen Mineral Holdings up 5.5%. The 5 worst performers were GUD Holdings down 6.1%, Austell down 4.7%, Flexi Group lower by 3.7%, Retail Food Group down 3.5%, and Ozforex Group lower by 3.1%. The Australian dollar is currently higher in the Asian session, 0.8% to 73.49 US cents. Spot gold is flat on the session, trading at $1,275 US, and crude oil is continuing to push higher, up 60 cents or 1.25% to $48.30. This has been the Australian stock market closing report for Tuesday, the 17th of May 2016, and I've been your host, Aaron First. I'll see you again next time.